On our morning show today from WRCO Radio, we're going to talk about a special event coming up on Halloween at the AD German Warehouse. This is going to be a fun thing to talk about. Derek Kalish is here, who's an event organizer, and Ashley Mott, who is the secretary of the board for some of the upcoming events going on at the warehouse. We're excited to hear about this. Derek, tell us a little bit about what's going on the 31st.
All right. Well, we have a great event planned and lined up. So the event title is Rave Yard, or if you put a G in front of that, you get Graveyard. So that name should give the illusion that it's for a Halloween event. So we are having an event on Halloween. So Friday, October 31st is Halloween. We are going to have a rave at the warehouse. So simple explanation is a rave at the warehouse. It's going to be from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Friday the 31st, so Halloween. It'll be on the first floor of the AD German Warehouse. For those of you that don't know where that is, it's 300 South Church Street in Richland Center. It's a really big brick, cool warehouse building. You can't miss it. It's a $25 cover. The event's open to those that are 21 and older. And we can talk more about details if you want to talk about rave, because if we say the word rave, there's different things that can be construed with the word rave. So
right, this is a wholesome event. It sounds like and fun for all ages, 21 and over. Right,
that's correct. So one of the really cool details with this is we're going to have a DJ there. DJ Requiem will be there to provide 5 hours of all vinyl, tech house, and clubhouse set music. So this would be comparable to, that's a type of music. So a rave typically has a type of music, and without going into those details, I'm just going to generally say like a club music. So we've never done this at the warehouse before. This is new. Later on in the show, I'll go over, well, what does a rave have to do with the warehouse? Because there are actually some really cool connections with that you may not know. But the point of this event is an opportunity for those 21 and older to kind of create their own alter ego and come to this event by donning fine masquerade attire or expressive fashion. So expressive is defined in many different ways, but I'm talking about velvet suits, theater masks, like you see like the Phantom of the Opera type masks, bright colors, bow ties, colorful, that form of self-expression. That was one of the rave elements that I'll go over here in a second, but formal dress is not required. But if you want to show up in a velvet suit, that's probably what I will do with a cool mask. So the 1921 Lounge will also be open during this time, offering their usual fare and a few signature cocktail drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. So this environment's actually going to be a really cool thing that's high energy, high sensory, fast-paced music, like I said, the tech house and the clubhouse music, a very communal event, where you focus on dancing and self-expression. So again, this is not a huge party scene, but we're focusing on the music, everyone coming together to have a really good time. We'll have some mood lighting, some lasers, of course, got to have a fog machine here and there, and things like that. So the elements of the rave culture that we're hoping to incorporate into this is to create that fun, exciting, euphoric escape that fosters that strong sense of community, unity, and respect. So a really cool rave event. And so raves were popular, the 90s, 2000s, they kind of started to fizzle out, but this is something new for the warehouse. We haven't done this event before. We've done many, many, many events there, but we've never had a rave there. So we're going to try this and see how it works. I think it does offer the opportunity for those that are 21 and older to go to an event that may be held at a bigger city that has a bigger population. So, we don't define ourselves by our population. We can do great things regardless of what that is. So we're going to give this a go.
Well said. I love the title, Ashley. Did you guys come up with that? Is that original?
Yep. So the committee came up with that, and they did a great job doing it. The committee has they've really kind of worked together to try to make an event that can capture all age groups. So 21 and over. A lot of the events that are held on Halloween night that are similar to this event are all held in bigger cities like Madison, Milwaukee, and La Crosse, things like that. So people that want to go to those events have to drive hours away to do it. So what we're trying to do is bring events like that in bigger cities to our community as something different to provide for people. So, anything that people will go to as you're 21, you can come and do it here on that night instead of going all the way to Madison or Milwaukee to do that. And so we're trying to encompass different age groups and age ranges into this event because it is the replacement for the haunted warehouse that we've done previously. So this is our replacement fundraiser for Halloween this year.
People know where the lounge is.
Yep.
Is it going to take place kind of in the same general area then, the first floor?
Correct. So the lounge is still going to be open, and then we'll have a dance floor with the DJ set up. We'll have lighting that's going to be set up as well, which is going to be really, really neat to see. And there's going to be different areas that people can sit if they don't want to be next to dancing or dancing. The lounge is going to be open for people to sit and have a great time.
It's a great time to be someone you're not, right?
Correct.
Kind of just go as your alter ego, right?
Yep, yeah. So I think when we had talked to the committee, it's kind of fun not to know who people are because they're wearing masks on that night. Halloween is a very eerie, spiritual day in its itself. So it's, kind of using the elements of Halloween as well to kind of, be mysterious in some aspects.
Sure. Will there be trick-or-treating that night as well? Can people stop there for that?
There will be. So the warehouse will be open as a trick-or-treat stop during the normal trick-or-treating hours for the city that night. So I think it goes until 7. So we will be there, or someone from the warehouse will be there to hand out treats on the Church Street entrance there. And then the rave will start at 8 o'clock right after that. So
indeed. So if you haven't been to the warehouse, and this is a great excuse to go and then see what it's all about, right?
Yep.
On the 31st.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's just another cool way to use that building. As I think back about all the different events we've done there, we have had events that have never been held before in the community, and just things that are different. And I think that's the beauty of a building like this, is that it can just constantly reinvent itself. Right? The space can reinvent itself, just like the Conservancy and even the predecessors have tried to reuse that building. So this building is I envision this as like a living organism, right? It's always changing, it's always growing, and this is just another one of those cool things that we're going to try there. It may work, it may not work, I don't know, but we don't know if we don't try. So we need to try to just see how it goes.
Indeed. And people can stop by, what are the hours again? You can just kind of stop by whenever you can, right?
Yeah, 8 a.m. to 1. The event will go from 8 a.m. to 1. You can buy your ticket at the door. So again, the $25 cover, or you can buy them on Eventbrite. So you can Google Eventbrite, find that warehouse. It's very easy to find, and you can purchase your ticket there.
Ashley, you said this is a fundraiser, so it's a pretty important night for you, isn't it?
Yes. So, we do a lot of fundraisers throughout the year, and we wanted to make sure that we had one for Halloween night because it is different. And again, all the fundraising would go to the Conservancy for the restoration of the building. So yes, it is a fundraiser that would be used towards that. All of the people that will be working that night are volunteers. So we'll have people that are going to be checking people in. We'll have bartenders, and then we'll have our DJ and things like that. So all the profits will strictly go to the warehouse.
What's the next big project, or is there one? Have you got something earmarked for what you'd like to improve or change?
I know that they have a lot of different projects that they're going to work on. I don't know anything off the top of my head as far as a huge project. I know that they're going to be working on getting new lighting in there, getting new windows and doors for the first floor because those haven't been replaced yet, and getting some more tuck pointing into the warehouse itself. But mostly overall, we'd be using it for those particular projects.
So cool to have it open again because, for so long we all see people standing outside just looking in the window like trying to see what's going on. Now that you're open more, you're probably finding that people coming from all over, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Now that we're open. So we're open every single Friday. So the lounge is open every Friday from 3:30 to 9. We have alcoholic beverages and alcoholic beverages there. We also have live music every now and then. And so we have a lot more people coming through. Our tours are done for the season, but we can still do tours some Fridays if we have a docent, which is really helpful because a lot of people that come in see it open, they want a tour. So if we have a docent there, then people can have tours as well, which is really, really helpful. And then we also have events that come up every couple months. Like we have another one coming up, which is our holiday sale, our holiday pop-up sale, which is December 6th. And so it's essentially a huge vendor fair where everybody can have gifts for Christmas that they're going to be selling, whether that be cookie kits or mittens or different crafts for Christmas gifts, essentially. So it's like a one-stop shop to get Christmas gifts on that day, and it's December 6th. And I think it's from 8 o'clock to 2.
That's awesome.
So, yep.
Thinking outside the box a little bit sometimes with some of these events, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. So we've done a bunch of different events and tried to like make sure that we can have different events because it's such a unique space that we can utilize it for different events, which is really, really nice. So we have holiday sales, we have vintage sales, we have the events like we're going to have on Halloween, we have lounge, and then we have art classes on the 3rd floor. So
yeah, if money were no object, what would you like to see happen to the warehouse or with the warehouse?
That's a good question. I mean, I both know Derek and our wheels are turning right now. I think every single floor we would like to be utilized and to be able to have it for the community as a functional purpose and bringing people in and bringing the community together. I would personally like to see they had plans for a rooftop bar where you can see the beautiful hills of Richland Center and just be able to have people experience that driftless view that you get. We get it every single day living here, but people that are coming in don't get to see that, and having a place like that to convene and sit down and watch the beauty of it would just be really, really nice.
I'd be willing to bet a lot of people have not been on that roof, though. I'm sure the view is just amazing.
It is. It's really, really pretty.
Yeah,
it's the best view in town. The best view in town. I think
agree.
There's nothing like it. I mean, the hills, especially now with the fall colors, are absolutely amazing. And it's just a really cool, again, it's a rooftop space, and there's not many or any rooftop spaces that you have like that in the community. Again, you're in a Frank Lloyd Wright building. You're in the only warehouse designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, the only building in his hometown. So there's lots of other things there too, which I've said many times on things like this before, but it's huge. It's my goals are very similar to Ashley's in the fact that everything she said times 5, plus also just having the building completed and serving as that economic development driver for the community, serving as that building that could house services or functions that give back to the community. I've said that before as well with this project, is one of the goals is that whatever happens in there is not just a simple like landlord-tenant situation, that it really is something that gives back to the community, because I firmly believe this building is part of this, the community's fabric and really should be interwoven into various community functions. So that would be my biggest thing, is that the building would give back, which would mean it's completed. There's a working elevator that can take you up and down. And then it's just, we can focus on the group can focus on programming and services instead of the constant chase for funding, which is always going to be, that's what these projects are. It is what it is. But just having the building done, the project completed, and then putting, finally saying, yes, the group was successful. The project is done. The warehouse is not this big brick eyesore in the middle of town. And it's never been that, but just to get to that point where we can have that happen would be great.
Indeed. And you've had you've had class reunions at the lounge on Friday night?
Yeah, we've had birthday parties. We've had bridal showers, baby showers, class reunions. We've had a bunch of different things within the warehouse because we are starting to rent the warehouse out on the first floor, which is extremely nice to see, because you're utilizing the building that we've all worked so hard to get to. We have heat on the first floor, and we have electricity to provide that. We have working bathrooms, which we're still working on, but we have water in that building for a working bathroom, which we hadn't had in the last couple of years. That's new this year, which is amazing to see. They've done a lot of work with it, but to be able to provide that as an option for an event space is really nice to see. So, and it also helps us raise money for more restoration projects, such as maybe getting a second bathroom that works, or a sink in the bar area, stuff like that. So,
if someone is listening and they have an idea or they'd like to maybe find out a little bit more or book it, what's the best way to get a hold of you, Ashley?
They can either go to our Facebook and send us a message, or they can email us. Both of that is on our website, as well as our Facebook. So they can send a message to request inquiries, and we do also have a calendar that they can look to see if a day is available as well.
Well, it's such an important thing for our community because I still talk to people all the time. They're like, I didn't realize Frank Lloyd Wright was born in Richland Center, because there's erroneous things online that he was born in Chicago or wherever, or Spring Green. So it's important to have it open, isn't it, Derek?
It is. It's so people ask me this, or this question has been posed to me a few different times. Well, why are you doing a rave? Like, why a rave?
Yeah.
And my first response is, well, why not? Because we can, and it's a really cool thing to do. It's a different event, but there are a couple different ties to raves in the warehouse, which are kind of fun. So, one, warehouses were commonly used for raves back in their heyday, right? So you had them in the basement of an abandoned building, large open fields, but this kind of gritty industrial warehouse space was perfect for these kinds of events. So it just kind of, the ADGWC happens to have a warehouse, right? So we happen to have a warehouse for us to use. So, okay, we're going to use it because we have a warehouse. So there's that. Interestingly enough, Frank Lloyd Wright and Olga Vanna actually very much so liked Halloween, one of their favorite holidays, and they actually had Halloween parties with the costumes, feasting, grand marches, prizes, and just, adult revelry at their home. So in Wisconsin and in Arizona. So, okay, well, Frank Lloyd Wright may have likely had a rave at the warehouse maybe at some point, or a 1930s version of that, what have you. So that's kind of cool. So we're kind of doing things that seem to fit how the architect of the building would have done as well. So that's kind of cool. And like I said before, we wanted to try something new. So the haunted house was very successful, and we didn't stop doing it because it wasn't successful, because it was, but it was time for a change, right? And change is good. Change is needed. It should be welcomed. And, it's like I said before, fits into the idea of the building reinventing itself for various different uses. In my opinion, that's the beauty of this building. Ashley and I kind of alluded to that from what the Conservancy is doing with it for fundraising efforts. But, outside of the architectural beauty, of course, which we all know, that is what that building's for. And I think a testament to the manner in which the building can be used to enhance the community in various ways, which Ashley has already demonstrated by just that space being open. So for a birthday party, the building's now available to create family memories. Memories last a very long time, obviously. So I think it's just a testament to how that building can function within the community. And then who can say they attended a rave in a Frank Lloyd Wright building in his hometown? There's not many that can say that.
Right.
So I'm very passionate about this part. And I've said this before, so it's maybe perhaps needless for me to say again, but I'm going to say it. We do have a national treasure sitting in our backyard. Okay, we've heard this before, but let me repeat that. The Frank Lloyd Wright Warehouse is a treasure that's sitting in our backyard on Church Street, in case you need the address, okay? So believe it or not, that's the truth, and that truth is known far and wide, and people come to us from all over parts of the world to validate that truth for us. So that's the other kind of cool thing, is you don't get to say, yeah, I went to a rave in a Frank Lloyd Wright building. So let me just kind of go back to the rave idea. This is why this is going to be not a crazy party where stuff gets destroyed or anything like that. It's not those negative connotations of a rave that sometimes you find when you Google the word rave. Not all the time, but you can find some of that stuff. And then, as Ashley said, this event is a fundraiser. This project's not going to ever not fundraise. Hopefully it doesn't have to fundraise to the extent that the group is doing now, but you're always going to have to do that. Proceeds are funneled back into the restoration efforts of the project itself. As Ashley noted, the ADGWC is a volunteer-based 501c3 organization charged with the mission to preserve, restore, and protect the iconic structure known as the AD German Warehouse. I've said that 2 million times, which is why it just rolls off my tongue. I tried to say it a little slower this time, so I do talk fast, but that's why the group does what they do, and that's why the volunteers do what they do, is because we firmly believe in the success of this project and its importance and validity in our community.
Maybe Frank Lloyd Wright will show up at the rave. You never know.
Maybe so.
You never
Maybe
know.
so.
Or someone adorned like him.
Maybe that would be cool. I mean, hey, make an appearance, bud. That's fine.
That would be fine.
So,
anything else either of you would like to add about it today?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think just to make sure you mark your calendars for October 31st, and hopefully we'll see you there, maybe.
Yeah.
And if you haven't checked out the lounge, you should. Yeah. It's a really cool, it's really kind of fun and a little magical, well, a lot magical to be there for those of us that have worked with the project, but it's just a really cool warehouse space to be in on a Friday night, and to see it lit up at night. it warms my heart, which sounds maybe cliche and silly, but to see especially the top floor lit up with the light coming through all the cracks in the not the bad cracks, the design cracks in the frieze is actually really cool. So if you haven't gone, you really should, because it's a really cool space.
Yep. And a nice patio that is now outside between the two buildings, so you can sit and relax out there if the weather is nice. So they've done a really, really good job doing it. So check it out.
We hope people will visit on Friday nights, and especially on Friday night, the 31st of October. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Good luck to you. Derek Kalish and Ashley Mott joining us here on WRCO's Morning Show.